Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying EB02. I just want to showcase a build for Belo Betty, even though this isn't using any new cards. I just think it's a very fun deck. It's very aggressive, very glass cannon, and a lot of people have been using this deck into set 11, into blue-purple Luffy, and I wanted to try it in the current meta, and it's just very fun, very consistent, because we've gotten so many Revolutionary Army cards that it's kind of insane. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed these deck profiles and breakdowns. And if you want to support the channel anyway, I've got a TCG player affiliate link in the description if you're going to be buying any cards for EB02 or anything. Clicking the link just helps support the channel while you're buying cards. And I have a coupon code for Ned Garden, Straw Hat Pecan, for 5% off any of their playmats. I use their Shanks playmat and their Whole Cake Island playmat. Thank you to Ned Garden for sending that out to me. I've used it for my locals videos you might have seen. It's very nice. I love the detail on it. Check it out in the description. But let's get into it. If you're not familiar with Belo Betty, she's a red and yellow 5k power 4 life leader. Revo Army type. Active in main. Once per turn, you discard a card with the Revolutionary Army type from your hand. Give it to 3 of your characters with the Revo Army type or trigger, plus 3,000 for your turn. So very aggressive at the sake of our hand size. So that's like, you know, the game won't be over by 10 dawn either way, you know, you or your opponent winning, because a lot of times you just kind of burn out of resources with this deck if you're not able to finish off your opponent in time. I'm gonna be swinging at face a lot, just trying to get a lot of swings to connect with that ability. That's why I'm not running dragon in this list as our top end. Just a lot of our 4 to 6k power bodies revolving around Caru being a very consistent piece, as we can find with our Belo Betty Searcher and Stage. Just to mention, I've seen some lists using this promo. I truthfully don't remember where this one was from. If it's super hard to get or expensive, I don't know. And also we have this Sabo from EB02, which is a new 2k counter. You can rest his character up to 1 of your Revolutionary Army type characters other than Sabo gains plus 2k power. It's not horrible, but it's also, you're resting a 2k counter, and then it's, you know, your opponent kind of has to swing into him. So it is nice if you're going into I don't know. It's nice that they'll have to swing into this rather than your life. Also, a lot of times people might not swing at your life because they're going to be swinging your board anyway. So this doesn't, although it is like a pseudo blocker, they're going to swing into it. Your entire board state are pseudo blockers. Like everything, your opponent's going to not oftentimes try to race you, right? But it is another 2k counter, has some pretty good utility. I just like the utility of Koala. Being able to mine something by 3,000 power is really nice for 2 dawn. It's very good, efficient way to get through like an 8 cost kid. Or Kuma is a body that can play out for free, right? And yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could find space for like 2 copies, but I don't think this is a deck where we really need to focus on 2k counter. It is nice that he has some more extra utility, right? Buffing up by 2k oftentimes does activate our character's abilities if we need a 4th swing, right? Like Caru, you have to be 7k power to get that effect. Same with Lindbergh. So definitely would like to try this, but I don't think we need it right now, but I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm the best Belo Betty player. I prefer our other 2k counters in the deck right now, and he's just a little expensive, right? To play out for 4 dawn so you can get 2 dawn worth of value the following turn is a bit pricey, right? But yeah, let us get into the deck profile. We got 4 Inazuma. This character gains rush if you have a character other than Inazuma with 7,000 power, right? You can buff it with another Inazuma, right? If you have 2 of these on the board and you buff them both, they'll give each other rush. This is conditional. So if you are playing against the deck, you swing with your, sorry, let me back it up and make it more clear. If you have 2 characters on the board, one being Inazuma and one being Ivankov, for example, you buff up Ivankov, you swing with Ivankov, you know, this Inazuma has rush after you just played it out, I guess, and your opponent triggers something to KO the Ivankov. Since that character is gone that buffed up the Ivankov, now Inazuma loses rush. which is something to keep in mind. They could also just pop the Inazuma with the trigger, right? If they had like a KO of 5 or less or something like that, like an Onami. But something to keep in mind, this character can lose Rush if your character that had the power stat that met the condition for this card was removed in some way during your turn. Just something to keep in mind. We got Ivankov 451, activate main. If this character has 7,000 power or more, you can cheat out a 5k power body, right? Other than Ivankov. So obviously that best combos with Caru, that on play and when attacking. If this character has 7,000 power or more, or just on play if you have Rebel Army type, give up to one of your opponent's leader characters minus 1,000 for the turn. This is really good into green purple Luffy, right? Bringing him back down from that 6k power leader to a 5k power. Very nice. Or any like 5k power leader into a 4k. You're going to burn through a lot of their counter very fast. This is how we finish games. Finding Caru is like your best piece. If you can oftentimes find 2 of these throughout the game, it's very, very, easy to finish very quickly. If you can somehow manage to get 2 of them on the board and consistently make your opponent's leader 3k power or even 4k power if it's a 6k original stat line, very nice. Koala, 2 cost to minus something by 3,000 power on play, and it's a 2k counter. Kuma, 2 cost on play, kill one of your opponent's characters with a power of 2,000 or less. Great way to get through some small blockers. Also, he can just play himself out if your leader's multiplayer, play this card, so it's nice to get just another body. Obviously, 2k power stat line, can swing with leader ability, turning him into a 5k power. We got our searcher for the deck, Belo Betty. 2 of the Morley 350. When attacking, if this character has 7,000 power or more, opponent can't activate blockers. Very nice, but honestly, I think we just kind of want to punch face as much as possible. And while like green purple does run some blockers, yes, of course, just 2 copies because we have stage to cycle every time, so we can try to find this if we need it. Lindbergh 451. When attacking, if character has 7,000 power or more, okay, one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. Another way to get rid of some chump blockers. We got the 5 cost Ivankov that on play looks the top 3 cards. Plays a character with the power of 5,000 or less. This can cheat out the other Ivankov because it doesn't specify other than Ivankov. It just has to be 5,000 power or less. So on a 5 or 6 on turn, you can play out this Ivankov to find this Ivankov to cheat out another 5k power body. It's very nice. Very great to go super wide. I'm still running 2 race max. I like this as a backup turn 1 play if we don't have like Belo Betty in a stage, because we do like to go second. Getting out 2 1-cost bodies on our first turn, or a Belo Betty and a searcher, right? And then on our 4-don turn, we can play out Ivankov into Caru. That's our strongest 4-don play. And then you can swing with your buffed up 1 cost, right? So raise max is nice. You know, even though we have this as a way to get through like an 8-cost kid, raise max is also pretty good for that. Just a 1-don to mine something by 3,000 power. Super good. That can combo nicely with Lindbergh's when attacking, or even Kuma to get rid of a body. But obviously on our 2-don turn, I'd rather get out like 2 searchers or a searcher and a stage, just so that we can always kind of guarantee we'll have Caru's to play out. Speaking of Caru, we got the 3-4-1 blocker Caru. I really like this. It's just oftentimes it can come in very clutch. He's also just a blocker, right? He is one of those ones that has trigger if your leader's Revolutionary Army type, and the total of you and your opponent's life cards is 5 or less. You can play this card. So doesn't always trigger out of life, especially if he's like one of the first life cards. But very nice if your opponent's going for game and you get like a free blocker. Like, that's always good. And can combo nicely with Koala. I was most of the time just running this at 2 copies, but a 6k stat line body that cheats out another body is always nice in this kind of a meta. We're trying to I feel like we are racing green purple a little bit. You know, they can get out bodies very, very fast once they get to 5 to 6 on, especially if they have more than one Sanji pudding, of course. So the fact that she is a 6k stat line, can swing into them even if they're not debuffed with Caru. And then her on play is add top card from top or bottom from your life to your hand. Play 1 cost, 4 or less Revolutionary Army type character from your hand, then draw 1 is very nice. So this can cheat out our Caru, it can cheat out our blocker Caru if you want to go defensive, play out 2 blockers. And it's a nice stat line with that 6k power. Our Kuma is our last card, character. That's just a 4/5, 2k counter, same as Caru, place out if you and your opponent have 5 or less life. And then we have our stage, just a 1 Don active main stage, trash a card. Rest of the stage, look at the top 3 cards of your deck for any Revolutionary Army type. Again, there are some really key pieces to find for this deck to really make sure you can end the game by like 8 to 10 Don. And that's Caru. This card is so good. Your opponent will always want to remove this card. Always get rid of it because there's just so much value in getting -1k for the turn when you're oftentimes swinging like 3 to 4 times per turn with all of your characters that you're kind of just cheating out, right? So yeah, that's the deck list. Let's get into some games and just have some fun with it. Belo Betty's a very fun kind of gimmicky leader, as like I said, you burn out of resources fairly quickly, and we don't run a ton of counter in terms of 2Ks. We're not really protecting our life. We're just trying to end the game by like 8 to 10 Don. And if your opponent can survive, oftentimes they do turn the tides, right? But it's about trying to end the game quick. So let's get into some games. Oh, Vega Punk. Okay, we're going first. I think this is okay because we have a 1 Don play. I think more Kuma would be good because we can pop the 5 cost blocker, right? This feels like a matchup that wouldn't, you know, be... Oh. Okay. So he gets a 5/6. Interesting. Go swing there. We'll play our 3 Don guy. So we'll have 2 swings next turn. Dare she? Nami. Okay, well, our Caru is not going to have more turns. Unless he plays it out now to get rid of this Caru. No, okay. Yeah, we get to play that out. Let's get rid of you. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's go here. Go bam. Let's trash Akuma. Buff, buff, buff. Let's go 5 at 4. We'll go 6 and 7 and 8. This could be really good for us this turn, actually. You know? 7 and 4. Got a blocker. 8 and 4. That might have been the quickest game of One Piece I've ever played. That is very unfortunate, right? If he had a single blocker Shaka from life, which it's only 2 life, so it's not a huge thing, but that is, yeah, that is the quickest game I think of One Piece I've ever played. I only said it because I feel like, you know, that is wild. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe you play out a blocker turn 1, right? I feel like healing to 3 life is valid too, but like a turn 1 blocker would have just been, but like, don't you have to trash a card, right? Okay, if your opponent has 2 characters or less, so he would have had to trash a card, which is not great. But yeah, he picks up Nami. Having 2 katas and another brick is unfortunate, right? But yeah, that is crazy. Getting the trigger from life is wild, which again is, since he starts with such low life, that all of these kind of play out, or well, the new ones play out, but this is also just plays out anyway by just trashing a card. GG. We got Oden. We get to take second. I don't want to mulligan 2 Caru's away, so we'll keep. Hopefully we get a good draw. We don't, but you know. We'll see. At least okay, it's 8 of life. Can't trigger that out. And no Ivankov, so we'll just go here. I'll swing 5. Boom. Do I don't think we trash for just the raise max. All it'd be nice to get another card out of his hand or such. Okay, Yamato. There's 7 at us. We take their stage, so that's cool. We're gonna stage, get trash you to search you. That's what we wanted. We'll play out you. Go trash you. Buff, buff, buff. See, this is what I kind of wanted for this turn. Boom. So you're back down to a 5. And now we made him into a 4. It does always suck that you have to swing the Caru first at like a big AK swing where we have 5s and 6s following it up. So they're going to take the 8 and then just try to counter out of these. But, you know, boom. And then we do have 3 2Ks to defend this Caru. And we got a rad beam out pretty early on. So now he has to kind of clear this if he can. Okay. Izo definitely helps in this matchup. Getting him another 2K essentially. And then activate made from Yamato. Raise Max is gone. If he just goes 7, we can counter out. Honestly, we're going to try to end game next turn anyway. So we're going to counter out. It's going to be just... yeah, I think we'll just trash you for buff, buff, buff. We'll go 8 at 5, then 8 at 4, and then big swing. So he gets the dragon as a 2K, essentially. Well, it debuffs a character, so he has to use it on the right. Yeah, it's. Oh, he's restanding. Or no, it buffs the. No, never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong card. And then he uses Paradise Waterfall, so resends the Yamato. I still has to give a 2K for that though. Ooh. Okay, let's go. He took that, so let's go. Wait. Oh, he debuffed. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, I'm so stupid. I didn't notice he debuffed that. Oh my god, because I saw the plus still. I feel really dumb. Man, that's unfortunate. We still have an 8K into a 5, so let's go 9, and then if 7 says 12. Let's go 10, 11. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel really dumb about that, but that is what it is. We still might just get it here with 11 into 5, or just get all the cards out of his hand. Okay, GG. Oof, rough. I could have made that a little bit better, but I didn't notice he debuffed that. I don't know why. Yeah. Yeah, it is minus 2,000 on one of your opponent's characters or leaders, right? So I didn't notice it on this. That's my fault. And we didn't have that much great luck with, you know, if he was going to go for game the following turn and if he was able to survive that. So that could have been pretty bad. We got Zoro Sanji, and we get to take second. Not a great hand, but not horrible. Ooh. See, this would be pretty all right if we can get an Ivankov next turn, but we don't have any searchers, so we'll just play out our 2/1 costs and pass. Still not finding a lot of green-purple on the sim, even though I'm trying to test a lot of decks against it. And I legitimately, I'm still on the belief that it is purely because how expensive that deck is. We'll take and trigger that out with, I guess, blocker. So no Inazuma, or no Ivankov. Play out you, minus you. Let's go Lindbergh to buff, buff, buff. We'll go 5 at 4. So even now he's gonna have to like swing at these guys, our whole board, right? Go 5 at 4 again. And 5 at 4 again. Counters out, and then I guess we'll get him down to 2 life, maybe? Let's see. Just a couple of 2Ks. Oh. That sucks. If he has another of these to follow it up, or just kills our Caru, right? That would be pretty bad for us. But I don't think he can't clear the entire board, right? We'll just let that go because I only have 2 cards anyway. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but maybe I'd rather him use that on the rest rather than keep it in hand to keep my whole board locked down. This card is such a menace. Carrot, okay. Well, we get to restand some stuff with that, or not restand, but cheat out some bodies. So let's see. We'll just get Lindbergh out, and then we'll go 6 of life. We can KO something with Lindbergh. Actually, no, we can. Yeah, we can KO the carrot with Lindbergh, so that's good. He's 0 costs. A Hody. Fair enough. I didn't really want to pitch just a swing of 5k with Raise Max, where next turn we should be able to get off like 3 or 4 swings. It depends. You can keep our morally locked down with carrot, of course. Depends if we get any lucky bodies from life. Yeah. Honestly, we can still just split with Raise Max. Yeah, decent. Depends on his hand. Because we'd be at 8 Dawn. We can go 9 and 9. Yeah, we have to let our whole board go, unfortunately. No body. This is where Dragon would actually be really clutch, but we can also, I don't know. Boom. So that's a free body, so that is kind of good. We can get another swing off of Inazuma. I think we'll do that. And we'll pitch. Boom. So buff, buff, buff. So we have 5 Dawn left. Let's just poke 5. Okay, he takes. So we'll just, yeah, GG. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He had, just a lot of bricks. Yeah. So even if we just split with the Raise Max, we would have had it, right? Unless it was, does Luna rest a leader too? No, just a character. So we would have swung with Raise Max first and then leader. GG. All right, we got green, purple Luffy. He gets to take, he takes first. I guess we have decent pieces. Just mainly these two, and hopefully the stage can find us what we need. Gets a Nami to pick up Sanji Pudding. Nope. Okay. Zoro though. 2 of Ankov is definitely good. Let's pitch you. Take you. So you can search and find us not what we need. Do I want a better turn next turn or maybe the following turn? We'll see what we draw into on the 4 Dawn anyway, and if he swings at us. He didn't pick up a Sanji Pudding off of this. Maybe he already has some. Maybe not. Maybe he finds out off of this. Finds a 2k. Draws a card. Goes 6. We take. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Yeah, this isn't what we want. Oh, we can maybe find. Yay! We find. So we're gonna go boom, pitching. Do I get greedy? I'll be greedy for a bit. It's still early. And if I live to regret it, then we'll know. We'll go 5 to 4. See if he gives us like the 2Ks early or he takes, right? And then go another 5 to 4. So the worst things with the, I'm not going to say it. We'll say it after. We'll say it after because every time I'm recording these and I'm like, gosh, by golly, it would suck if my opponent had this card. They end up having that card. And the thing with this matchup is there's so much consistency with this deck. That's why I think it's so good, right? You have searchers, draw, Zoro Searcher, right? You have all the pieces in your deck that you would want to be able to find this card, because this is what makes the deck work so well. And unfortunately for us, we don't really have a way. I think at this point we'll just... Actually, I don't know. I'm getting so greedy, but it's going to pay off. Don't you worry. It's going to pay off. 3 Dawn. Blocker Robin. Okay. Oh, we could also do that. We're going to do this instead. Well, is it better to search first? Well, you only know once hindsight, right? Let's search first. We wouldn't have found it. Okay, that's good for us. We wouldn't have found it. So then we'll play out you. Take that. That's actually pretty good. I could have kept the... I could have picked up the searcher. Right? Yeah, I could have picked up the searcher, Belo Betty, but we have too many things in our hand now. We'll trash this. Go buff, buff, buff. We'll go 8 into 5. Yeah, this is a very scary board. Valid. Definitely get the block out because, well, I don't know. Maybe he just wants more counter. We know he has a 2K, right? Oh no, he used the 2K. He gets the secret rare. We're gonna probably not live to see next turn, actually. If now I'm thinking about it, he could just take all these most likely. Or at least he counters out of one of them. He could probably just win next turn. Maybe I should have cheated out the blocker. This is what I mean by like racing. Like as soon as he gets to, we're both a deck that we can just win on 6 Dawn, right? Because once you get to 6 Dawn here and you have a Sanji Pudding, that's like you get 3 extra Dawn a turn essentially. Never mind, he's using the Zoro, so I guess he's hoping that he lives. Maybe he has Usohashi, so 2K. Maybe he has I don't want to say it in case he has it. No, would that save him though? Probably. Okay, he doesn't have Luna because he's swinging at our board. That's the card that I didn't want to mention lest he had it, right? But we could still maybe win with these 3 swings. Or if he doesn't have Luna, we have 4 swings. We'll 2K. We do have counter, right? Yeah, we have counter. So we'll 2K. That might be a win for us. 8 cards in hand, 1 life. We're just gonna go for this to go like buff, buff, buff to make it even, right? Let's go 8, pop the Nami. No Karasu, so that really sucks. It might not be a win, who knows? He just has to give us 2 cards. He has a giant up. Okay. We have 2 8s, a 6, and a 5. With 3 left, we can make 8. 8, that's 2, 3. So that's 3 Dawn left. So we can go 8, 8, 8, and then like 2 9s. Cards in hand might get us there, but if he has the giant, we're kind of dead. Because he can get out of 1, probably 2. He needs to get out of 3 at this point. He giants this early though, so that's a good sign for us. Did I do my math correctly? So we have 8, 8, 5. So if I put 8 here, I have 3 left. So I can go 9s actually? Yes, I can go 3 9Ks. I don't think he has any trigger blockers, right? But let's just go for it. He does have Luna, which can rest a character. If he gets out of this, we're just dead, right? And we put up a good fight. Like, I feel like our board was as scary as we could have asked for it to be. Very close. GG. That was as close as it could have been. And we had such a scary board. Actually, 1, 2, unless he plays out the, With the Nami up, yeah. If he counted out there and we swing at Nami, we had another giant. We like get the Nami, so that's 3 swings. We could probably just swung 9 at the pudding. Sanji pudding maybe got that, so that would have been 3 swings, 4 possibly. You know, if he plays out the secret, and then we had a blocker from life. You know, there's a world where he gets overconfident with no hand, 2 life, and 3 swings that the blocker saves us, right? But if he plays out the secret rare and he gets 2 attacks from that, then yeah, we're toast. But yeah, very, very close game. And I just kind of wish we saw more Caru with some of our searches, right? If we were able to get 2 turns of Caru, that would have been great, right? If we had a Caru for that last turn going for game, and we didn't have no hand, right? Yeah, right. I don't see it. Actually, it might be the next card. It might be 2. So if we search with this, we would have found it and then been to cheat it off the Ivankov. So that's not like using up any of our Don. And then all of these swings going into a 5k leader versus a 6k make it a lot easier. So yeah, I think you want to just find, if you find 2 Caru, you're in a great spot. Kind of like how this deck, if you find 2 Sanji pudding, you're also in a great spot, right? But man, I think he searched for this. So if he just found 1k counter instead, he would have got it. That's crazy. All right. I feel like I want to take first from this Luffy, even though I don't like first. I'm a mulligan. It's pretty decent. Belo Betty, obviously. Well, not obviously. I don't know. It's very good to go second, like we talked about in this. We'll take you, Caru. Very good to go second. But against Luffy, yeah, like there, we'll go search. I don't really want to pass up an opportunity to take a second Caru. And then we'll go 7 of life. Boom, bam. Cool. What does he got? Oh, okay. Got scared. 6 hours back. I think I'd rather him ramp rather than use that to KO my Caru, even though he has Sanji to pop it. Right. Oh. Okie dokie. Let's go here. Let's go boom, trash, koala. Go buff. Actually, I probably should have kept koala now that I'm thinking about it. I do have 3 Caru, which is kind of crazy to finish this off, but we'll see if we get him down to 2 life. Cool. But koala would have been really good since it's showing that he doesn't want to swing into me. Does he have... Maybe he has the rush, Sanji? He does. That's how he's going to clear this. I can't protect that. No, I can't. This would have had to been counter. And also he gets 2 Dawn back. Boom. But we have another Caru. We have 2 Caru. So we can play out both Caru next turn with this. And does he swing at me or does he get rid of this? Yep. And he gets a Frankie. 3 Caru is kind of crazy. We'll go here. Let's go trash that. Buff. Play out another Caru. Bam, bam. We can go 8 into 3. And that's going to be like a giant from him, I would imagine, or he takes. We know he has a blocker Frankie, which is rough. He takes, though. So we'll be at 9 Dawn. He has a lot of cards in hand. If he can clear... I don't know how you clear both of my Caru, though, and establish a blocker. And I'm still at 4 life, so we're in a decent spot, right? There's one. Does he do another? Because then you don't have Gum Gum. And do you just not swing at me? Do. So yeah, Koala definitely would have been better for this matchup. I shouldn't have just pitched that so haphazardly. That is my fault. Here's like the rough part. Oh, okay. If I get an Inazuma Rush off of the... Well, no, then I can't pitch anything for... Yeah. We're just gonna go. He's gonna block out anyway, but I need to play something out, so we might as well play out the Caru. She's just gonna block. Yeah. But we have 4 life, a 2k in hand, and the possibility of a blocker, Caru. See, he has 5 swings, but we'd have to swing with this guy. Or he could have the 10 drop, which would be really bad for us. Well, not really bad, but I don't know. Do you get to play out a blocker with this? You do. But then again, does he just continue to not swing at me? Yep. We'll see. Because if we get any card out of life with a blocker up, we'll just split for game. We'll take free trigger, which is nice. So yeah, Koala is like the perfect card for games like this where your opponent's just not swinging at you, because that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we'll go pitch here, buff. No blockers, so we'll just go big. 18 at 5. If he has multiple Gum Giants, you know, fair enough, but I don't think with 2 Gums you get past that. Yeah, that's a lot of counter. GG. All right, but those are some games. Again, even the times we won, I hope this served as like a decent example of how the deck can be very impressive with how aggressive it can be, but also it's very fragile, right? I think maybe the Sabo would be good. Maybe the 2k Sabo would be nice, right? In place of like a raise max. I don't know. I think our perfect 2-don turn is Belo Betty and Stage. Of course, you're not always going to find that, but raise max being a backup did help in a few matches sometimes. But it's a dead card. It doesn't trigger out of life. It's pretty weak in terms of like stat line. You know, very easy to remove. And again, just having another 2k would be kind of nice sometimes, or just a swing body. Like there was also some times where these kind of cards only really get value once you have the Caru out on board, right? Swinging a 5k buffed up into a 5k lead doesn't feel great. You're getting 1k counter out of their hand for you having to pitch a card out of yours. But if you're swinging 5 into 4, or even in a green purple Luffy's example, still the 5 into 5 feels better, right? That's a lot more value. So for this to be worth it, you have to have Caru out. You know, putting in the Sabo 2k counters and help solve that problem, but I don't know. Maybe I just want to try out some of the new cards. I always like trying out new cards when a new set drops. I feel that's the point of trying out, you know, have a new set, right? But I mainly just want to test Belo Betty out into the new leader and some of the other decks with their new cards, right? I think for how popular Vegapunk will be, Kuma definitely feels like a much needed piece of the deck at 4 of. I really like the Stage consistency of things. I don't know. Let me know what you think of the deck. It does feel awkward not having Dragon in as well. I always like that. You know, Koala does come up sometimes. Like in that last matchup, I really should have used Koala. It would have helped my case out a lot. You know, just going wide, drawing a card. If you're getting starved out, this is your perfect piece to use, right? So there's definitely a lot of use cases for a lot of these cards. And, you know, with more and more sets that Belo Betty gets support, like new Revolutionary Army cards are coming out like all the time. And it just gives us more pieces to pick from, right? This deck is, one, decent and fun, but also very cheap. So I always, you know, if you're somebody looking to get into the game and you like aggressive decks, this is definitely a decent pickup because you're not looking at a very expensive leader. I think this Koala has risen up in price a little bit because of the Koala leader reveal for set 12, which I don't even know if we're going to use this in Koala, to be honest. I don't know what the deck list will look like. I haven't looked at it too many of the cards, but overall, I always like showing off a nice affordable deck list for people trying to get in the game. So definitely consider Belo Betty. as a leader if you are looking to get into the game. But also we have new starter decks coming out too, so another great reason or avenue to get into the game with. But yeah, let me know what you think of the deck list. Have you been playing Belo Betty throughout set 10? Are you looking forward to any of the new cards? Are you putting in any of the EB02 stuff? Let me know down in the comments. Anything you would change, do differently, let me know. And of course, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye bye.